I'm going to be using Cherry Blossom tissue paper by Roy Cycled. And actually, Roy Cycled taught me this technique. I'm going to start by tracing out my wooden egg. And then I'm going to cut just on the other side of that marking just to make sure that my tissue paper is large enough. Here's the tissue paper Cherry Blossoms on our webpage, chalkitupfancy.com. And I'm going to start by painting our egg with Dried Time by Wise Owl. And I'm using our S30 Klingon brush. It's really the perfect art brush. If you're not really into painting furniture and you're into smalls, this is the brush that you're going to want to have. And you just wash with soap and water. And I'm just going to paint the edge and the back of my egg. I'm going to leave the front raw wood. As I know, this is just basically pine and it's very clean and it's not going to probably do any staining. Otherwise, I would want to maybe prime it with some clear primer or white. Or give it a painting. I'm going to be using veneer edge banding iron. And I'm going to set my setting at 220. I'll have Jamie drop a link if you're interested in purchasing one of these. You're going to need some plastic wrap, and you're going to lay that right on top of your egg. And you're going to want a piece of parchment paper for when you begin to iron. I'm going to place my tissue paper down, and I'm just going to want to rub my hands around to make sure that there's no wrinkles in the saran wrap. I'm going to lay my parchment paper down, and then I'm going to start to iron. A few tips. I'm doing this fast because we have sped up the video. So you're going to want to take time with this process. You have to have the heat go through the parchment, through the tissue, into the saran wrap. So you want to move around slowly. You want to put a little pressure, and you want to really allow that heat to get down in there in order to adhere this piece. Now, I did try this with some of the other tissue paper, like the Underwood typewriter. I had a little difficult time, and I have a feeling that that paper may have a little bit of a heavier weight. So just to keep in mind when you're choosing paper to use this technique. I went and trimmed off all the excess saran wrap. I probably had way too much than I needed. And now I'm taking a piece of sandpaper and sanding around the edge, right on the edge. I'm not touching the image. I'm trying to scoot in one direction. And my first pass over took the paper off. And then I went back and my second pass took off the saran wrap. Again, you want to just make sure you're hitting right on that edge. I'm taking a little longer with this just so that you guys can see. And go back and it takes the saran wrap right off. Guys, this had no bubbles. It was completely flat, no wrinkles. So now I'm going to be using our angle brush, our premium angle brush by Wise Owl, and our 1 hour enamel. I'm going to put a coat of the 1 hour enamel all over my tissue paper. And this did start to bubble a little bit. Guys, just ignore it. When you walk away, when it dries, it's going to shrink and those bubbles are going to go right away. But there was a little bubbling just to prepare you. It's not ruined. It's just the paper getting wet. And when that dries, it's going to dissipate. And it did. So here's my egg dry. Now I'm going to create a perfect bow, what I call a perfect bow, meaning there's no extra material showing, anything like that. I just put it in a bow shape and I kind of glue it. I got this ribbon right at Dollar Tree. It's one of my favorite ribbons. The quality is pretty decent and I like it because it's got that little trim of gold going through the center. And then I'm wrapping another piece around the center. And again, I have no extra fabric hanging. It's just, and I'm just kind of gluing it together. So now I'm going to take some more ribbon and wrap it around the edge of the egg. Guys, you can choose any ribbon that you would like. You know, something that's going to fit your decor. I still have some leftover Surebond in my gun, and that's why the glue is white, which is fine. It works fine with pretty much anything I use it on. So now I'm going to glue my little bow just to the left of the top. And you know what? It's cute just like this. You didn't have to do another thing to it. I happen to have this cross. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and I dismantled it, and I took off the wooden part that said Believe. And I'll save the floral for another project. And I glued this wooden Believe cross to my egg. Now you have this adorable cross Easter egg. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. For other tutorials, go check us out on YouTube. You can now watch all our videos at chalkitoutfancy.com. For any paint products, brushes, tissue paper, or transfers, chalkitoutfancy.com. Thank you so much for watching.